Just was.
Welcome to this episode of Watch Wars, and a very special one at that. I am your host, D. Do me a favor, if you are not subscribed, please do so at bottom. It takes so little, and it means so very much. Appreciate you. Thanks for coming along on the ride. This is more of a diameter wars. This is going to be a severely truncated Watch Wars. This is going to be covering the latest release from Christopher Ward in their Moonphase line. Their 37 millimeter version of the 40.5 millimeter version that I already own, which makes me want to say to Christopher Ward,
If I could turn back time, if I could find a way.
But anyway, I love this watch. Okay, so on the right is my watch. It is 40.5 millimeters in diameter, but for simplicity's sake, we're going to call it the 40. Over here, big thanks to Christopher Ward, C-Dub, Mike, and team, North American team, for sending this in for review. Could not have done this without them. Thank you so very much. I wanted to compare these two watches, being that I've owned the 40 for better than a year. Love it, amazing. And gosh, they released it in a 37. Dang. I kind of wish the 37 would have come out first, because I have the strong sense after spending a little bit of time with it that I may have to move this one on and do a rebuy in this size. But I wanted to get them on deck side by side, keeping in mind that my wrist is 6.5 inches in its circumference. Wow. This 37 fits me so well. And I can't even have the conversation about the Christopher Ward watch without talking first about Arnold & Son. Arnold & Son is a small brand. They make really rather beautiful but expensive watches, and heretowit, they had been my favorite Moonphase because of the sheer size of the moon on its moon complication. But they are price prohibitive. Even their steel model in black dial stainless is bigger than this one. It's like 41 plus. But it's even on the pre-owned markets, it's 7 Gs. But the precious metal ones, they're north of 20 Gs, and I'm just not rocking that hard. But these watches have a comparably sized, super duper large, and I dare say larger Moonphase than Arnold. And frankly, I find it more attractive before I even get to the price and the value of the piece. So what do we got here, D? Let's put some dims up. Let's put some numbers up on the board. And you can tell pretty much right off the bat what we are looking at here in terms of dimensionality. And there is sometimes in direct light, it can be a challenge to read the hands, but I don't mind it. Why? This watch is a Moonphase is a poetic complication. This is a nighttime watch. And what I love doing with this watch when I wear it out at night, if I'm in low light, no light, I love bending my wrist to catch the glint of a street light, and it just catches those hands, and it lights up so beautifully at night. I just adore it. But here we are, 37 versus 40.5, quite a bit smaller on the lug-to-lug. Height is pretty negligible, as you can see there. I didn't even know there was a height difference until I read the specs. Now that I'm looking at it from this angle, you can see it a bit more. We'll show the case backs in a moment. But both are 20 millimeters at the strap width. Both are 30 meters water resistance. So not a dive watch. They both have sapphire, and they're both using the SW2220 Salida with the JJ04 added into it. Power reserves 38 hours. This on watch head is 52 grams. This is 67 grams. Not a ding at all on this, because it's a larger watch, so it's not going to go negative against it. But I have to say, well done, C-Dub. Well done, Christopher Ward. It just could have been done sooner, because here's the thing. I trigger bought this. I was hanging out in LA. I was with my buddy G Money. I got the email from Christopher Ward, and I didn't hesitate. They weren't in stock yet. It was going to be a pre-order type deal. I was like, here, take my money, please. And it took a little bit, it took about a month or so to come in, and it is every bit as gorgeous. That aventurine dial is epic. Absolutely epic. And look at the moon. The moon, you know what? Okay, the moon on the 40 is slightly larger than the 37. I was kind of hoping it'd be the same moon and just, change it around a bit. So, but it is proportional. And I have to say already, I can tell without even doing the standard watch war scoreboard and whatnot, I can tell who's going to win. But before we do that, let's take a look at the case we've already reviewed this one. Let's take a look at this 37. And we will get both of these on my 6.5-inch wrist very, very soon. Come on, focus, play ball, my man. Yeah, it's a super bright day here today. Plus, with this being a very dark dial, I had to play with the lighting in the studio. Hope that is coming across well for you. Christopher Ward, yes, they get a lot of attention for their C12. Yes, the Bel Canto. But this watch, for me, this is the belle of the ball. And those other two pieces, even though that's been, a pair of watches that have severely attracted a lot of attention, this alone, even if they didn't have those two other watches, this line alone is enough for someone to pay attention to Christopher Ward. I've been buying their watches since 2016. I am a C-Dub fanboy. And like I said, when this came out, I didn't even consider size. I knew that it was in 40, and I knew that the Panamatic Lunar and the Arnold were 41 and above. This does fit me well, but this one is going to fit me better because it's slightly smaller, but the aspect ratio of the moon to the aventurine dial to the case isn't going to suffer for it. In fact, if I could turn back time, I would buy you. Actually, no, I would wait until you come out and then I would buy you. Sorry, I wasn't expecting. I was totally not expecting to sing Cher for you. I apologize. What a nut. Anywho, let's get this on wrist. I say, you know what? Let's do the big one. Let's do the big brother first, then this one, then side by side. All right, D, time to lose some gloves. And ba-bam, this is my personal 40. And after spending some time with the 37, it does look a bit big. And in truth, if you're approaching the brand, this model, with a 6.5-inch, and I dare say 6 3/4 to 7, I'm going to suggest getting the 37 in lieu of this. But the nice thing about that means is if you're a bigger guy, if you're 7.5-inch, 8-inch wrists, and you find it very challenging to get a proportioned dress watch that's a Moonphase, look no further than the C1 Moonphase 40.5 for your wrist. Yeah, I never minded the size before knowing that this exists. And if this didn't exist, I'd be perfectly happy and satisfied with this model. But the sizing is just very, very different. All right, let's check out the 37. Double ba-bam. This is a loaner watch, so I have not sized the bracelet. Long lead, slightly slimmer, like 0.2 millis, so not a big deal there. But look at that lug-to-lug presence. It's just rocking with Dawkins. It just fits me better personally at 6.5-inch on my wrist. Adore it. You know what I should do? I should keep this and just send this one back in this box. Why? They're the same price. Bracelet version of this is the same price as this, which is awesome because a lot of watch brands out there, when they give you a different size, they charge you a different price. And this is technically more watch. It is physically a larger watch, so you're getting more materials here. But don't worry, Mike and team, I would never do that to you. Although the idea did occur to me, shame on me. Yeah, love it, love it, love it. I'm gonna probably have to I think I'll move this one on first, flip the cash, and just go and run and buy this. This is not a limited edition. Thankfully, adore it. Absolutely adore it. All right, let's get both on wrists. Let's pull a Castro. Double ba-bam, pulling a Castro. Gonna be very careful not to dig these together since I own 50% of the watches on my wrist, but you can see very easily which one fits me better. And I hope that's useful for you. If you are a 6.5-inch wrist, I'd say all the way up to 7 If you're a 7-inch wrist person, you're going to have a little bit of a challenge. Try and seek out Christopher Ward at a meetup or one of the watch shows in your area. They're going to be doing a bunch more of those, and try them on if you're at 7. But if you're above 7, just go straight to here. If you're above 7 inches on your wrist and you're looking for one of these, hit me up downstairs and let me know. I will give you the friend price. All right. And the watch winner is, drum roll please, Christopher Ward, C1 Moonphase in the 37. Why? It just fits me better. They are pretty much the same watch in different size, in slightly different specs, but all related to that size. An epically great watch. Christopher Ward keeps going from strength to strength. I feel so happy and justified because I was on the Christopher Ward train for years before the rest of the watch community, and I wasn't part of the watch community back then. I was just some yahoo buying watches off the internets. And so glad to see a brand that I adore doing well and getting the respect they absolutely deserve. Hope that you enjoyed this episode and that wherever you are on this wonderful, beautiful hobby of ours, that you're blessed. We will catch you in the next one. Peace. If you'd like to support the channel, head over to hobbyofhours.com. We've got artwork, coffee mugs, hats, t-shirts, and even a watch book. 1001 Watch Designs, Volume 1. Over 1,000 designs in here. Steampunk, super futuristic, kaleidoscope, even super real ones. Watches that you could probably put on your wrist today. It's a great way to support the channel. Thanks for coming along on the ride.